now these may just here attain to the fruits of holy life, from the fruit of a stream winner to our headship. However, let us now beware of needing any further with such attainments which are really failures, and which abound in suffering. But nevertheless, to some bodhisattvas this is a source of anxiety, because these come to feel deterred from the quest for full enlightenment in favor of aspiring to rebirth among the gods. This also is seen as Mara doing this. More discord between Lama and pupil. Furthermore, the Lama may be a monk who is fond of solitude while the pupils prefer a communal life. He tells them he will give this perfection of wisdom to any coming to where he is, but not to any who do not. In their desire and zeal for Dharma which these value they go to where the Lama is, and still he gives these no opportunity to learn anything. He is one eager for trifling bits of fleshy things, but these do not want to give him anything that he values. Wherever he goes he is short of food, surrounded by troubles, and in danger of his life. And his pupils hear from others that that place is short of food, full of troubles and dangers to life. And that Lama will say to these children of good family, "This place is short of food. Of course, all you of good family, you may come here if you wish. But I am afraid that you will regret having come." This is a subtle device by which he outwardly rejects them. In disgust they will interpret these remarks as signs of refusal, not as signs of a desire to give. Convinced he does not want to give, they do not go to where he is. Moreover, this Lama may have set out for a spot where there is danger from vermin, from beasts of prey, from ghosts. And he yet still moves from there to a wilder place with beasts of prey, snakes and robbers, marked by drought and famine. To these prospective pupils he says, "You are aware, I suppose, in this spot for which we have set out are many dangers, from vermin, beasts of prey, flesh-eating ghosts, and it is swarming with snakes and robbers, it has neither food nor water. So you must be able to experience a great deal of suffering." Thus he outwardly rejects these with a subtle device. Disgusted, they do not go with him, and turn back. Finally, the teacher may be one of the monks who attaches weight to relations with the friendly families who feed them. All the time he goes to see them, he is kept very busy that way, and refuses those prospective pupils on the ground that, first of all, there is someone I must go and see. This also is a source of discord when this perfection of wisdom is being written and studied. This also is seen as Mara's work. In such ways Mara appears to bestir himself to prevent people from learning, studying, teaching and writing this perfection of wisdom. Here then, Subhuti, all these factors which prevent cooperation between guide and pupil needs be only recognized as Mara's deeds, and being so seen, one is admonished to try to avoid them. Mara seen as dissuading from perfect wisdom. Subhuti, what, O Lord, is the reason why Mara is seen to make such great efforts and bestir himself to prevent, by this or that device, people from learning and studying this process of perfection of wisdom? The Lord, perfection of wisdom is a beginningless, and thus endless source of all knowledge of Buddhas, the Lord's, which in its turn is the source of endless devotion of Tathagatas, which leads immeasurable and incalculable beings to dissolve their defilements and obscurations by this simple revelation. So, to any, having dissolved their defilements, Mara is seen as not being able to gain entry, and this gives him cause for distress and being dispirited, and the dart of sorrow is realized as having vexed him. In consequence, as the process of this perfection of wisdom is being written and studied, he is seen as making in his great tribulation a tremendous effort, bestirring himself, and with this or that device, to attempt to prevent the study of this perfection of wisdom. Mara, the evil one, is seen moreover, as coming along in a guise of a sramana, a religious mendicant, and attempting to cause dissent. In order to dissuade the ones born of good family who have but recently set out in the vehicle, he will say, "This is not the great perfection of wisdom which your honors listen to. As it has been handed down in my sutras, as it is included in my sutras, such is the perfection of wisdom." Thus it is seen as some him, or another, attempting to sow doubts in the minds of the bodhisattvas having but recently set out in the vehicle, whose intelligence is usually not too expansive, but rather sluggish and limited, who are usually lacking in vision and whose enlightenment in any future is not as yet predicted. Seized by doubt, these will not learn, study, or write this perfection of wisdom. This also is seen as Mara doing this to them. Moreover, Mara may be seen as coming along in guise of a Buddha, with magically created monks around him, and maintain that some bodhisattva coursing in profound dharmas is one who realizes the reality limit, and should be happy to become a disciple, and not a bodhisattva, as this bodhisattva certainly has. This also is seen as one of Mara's deeds. Subhuti, when this perfection of wisdom is being written and studied, Mara, the evil one, produces these deeds which I mention, as well as many others. These all may come to be seen, recognized by a bodhisattva, and avoided, not cultivated. The bodhisattva may come to reply to these with vigor, mindfulness, and self-possession. Antagonism between Mara and Buddha. Subhuti, so it is, O Lord. Whatever is very precious, this provokes much hostility. Because it is so superior, being hard to get, and of great value. One can herein expect as a rule many obstacles will arise to this perfection of wisdom. When, overawed by these obstacles, someone becomes lazy, one can come to know that those people who decide not to learn, study and write this perfection of wisdom are people who are seen as beset by Mara have but recently set out in the vehicle, their intelligence is small, sluggish, limited and perverted, and their thought refuses to function in these very sublime dharmas. The Lord, so it is, Subhuti. And while it is true that these deeds of Mara which we see as such are bound to arise, a great many agencies will arise in their turn which oppose the faults of Mara. Those who decide to learn, study and write this perfection of wisdom are swayed by Buddha's might, by his sustaining power, by his grace. For whereas Mara, the evil one, will be seen to make great efforts to cause obstacles, the Tathagatas in turn send help. End chapter 11.